Now, according to an A2 Global Risk presentation, developing countries lose between $20 billion and $40 billion each year through corruption and also misappropriation of public funds, and in fact, other corrupt practices. That, it says, is equal to more than they receive annually in overseas development assistance. In 2018, Angola got a new administration after the exit of Mr. José Eduardo dos Santos, and has since launched an aggressive anti-corruption fight. So how has this fared? Olivia Milliand is a researcher on Angola, and he is with us now via Skype from the UK. Olivia, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. Let us get right into it. There have been reports about billions of dollars getting lost from Angolan government coffers, but that information is scanty. Olivia?
Thank you, first of all, for having me. And as you've already hinted, the information is quite scant, and we don't have a very, very clear picture of how much money has left Angola state coffers over the past decade or so. But we know that there are serious challenges with corruption more broadly, especially under the previous government. And now the current government is, of course, taking serious efforts and is trying to project itself as a serious actor in the space. Now, there are some hints of how much money may have left Angola over the past few years. For instance, there was a study by the University of Luanda that estimated money to almost 30 billion US dollars. And there have also been statements with similar amounts, both by US authorities and Angolan authorities. But as you say, we don't know exactly how much money has been lost.
Olivia, so the previous president and his family have been accused of corruption. Recovery seems like a long way to go, so to speak. How would you explain the current government's efforts vis-a-vis their capacity to rebuild?
Current government, led by President Joao Lorenco, has taken very bold steps to fight corruption. He has himself recognized that it's a scourge on society, and he's taken serious steps to fight it, including the arrest of or firing of Isabel de Santos from Sonangol, for instance, also arresting her brother José Filomeno, who was the head of the Foreign Sovereign Wealth Fund, for instance. And he has launched this amnesty last year for the repatriation of stolen funds. So the government has taken serious steps. But what we mean between ambition and capacity is that, yes, he's taken very, very bold steps, but in reality, the capacity on the ground for Angolan authorities to launch investigations or freeze assets abroad are limited. And this stems not only because of Angola's poor track record in terms of fighting corruption, but also in terms of its limited banking facilities due to a lot of banks abroad de-risking their operations a few years ago.
How is the situation now likely to impact the future of foreign investment in Angola?
When we look beneath the headlines, I suppose, we see that there are still a lot of issues that remain from the previous government, and that is presenting serious challenges to foreign companies, because they not only have to deal with the risks of corruption in Angola, but also the risk of legal ramifications in their home jurisdictions, for instance. So it is still a very complicated context or country to operate in, especially as a foreign investor. But there are definitely encouraging signs on the ground, looking to increase transparency, for instance, in transactions, and also ensuring controls of governance of the state-owned oil company, for instance, which has several actors have highlighted it as kind of a vehicle for a lot of this capital flight that's been going on over the past decade or so.